Hello, everybody. This is Georgiana and Meredith from Creativity for Kids. And today we are going to be doing our sand art kits. So, Miss Meredith, take it away.
Thank you, Georgiana. Thank you, Felicia. And thank you all for joining us today. So as mentioned, we are going to be unboxing and doing our sand art kits today. But I have a big question because we do have 4 sand art kits. I'm wondering which one you would like to see me do. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read them all off. If you can type in which one you are voting for us to do today together. So we have our dragon. We have our mermaid. We have our unicorn. Or we have our rocket ship and alien. So I can't wait to hear which one you would like to see us do on our class today. So far, I think we have 1 vote for unicorn. Does anyone else want to vote? Tina says dragon or unicorn. So that's 2 for unicorn. Okay, someone's doing the mermaid sand art. And then we have someone for the rocket. Okay. So we have 2 for the unicorn. So I think I'm going to go forward with the unicorn. Thank you guys for voting. That was really helpful. And if you do not have the unicorn, but you do have a different one at home, the instructions are pretty much the same. So you can follow along. And if you don't have any of these kits at home, that's okay. You can still watch. And if you do come upon one of these, you'll know how to do it. All right, so let's open up our box. And what I'm doing is I'm opening up the box just by cutting open the little sticky dots, because this box is going to be used as our workstation. So you actually open up this box like kind of like a book, like that. So inside we have our cute little unicorn bottle, our sand art bottle, right here. Hello. We have our cool stickers. They're holographic stickers and sparkly stickers. And those are right here. Cool. We have a unicorn horn, the ears, the eyes, and we have unicorn's little friend, the little starburst. We have our funnel for filling our handy dandy instructions right here. And then, of course, what's definitely necessary is all of our colors of sand. Ta-da! All right, so let's get started by seeing what we do first with the instructions. All right, so cover your workspace with newspaper or a towel. When creating your sand art, the bottles must be filled to the top. Over time, the sand might settle, so you can add more sand as needed. Hold the funnel with one hand while pouring with the other. To get even layers, tilt the funnel slightly to the sides, and then use the sparkle sand to create a thin accent layer of sparkle between each color. All right, so that was a quick overview. Now let's just do it step by step. All right. So, as we mentioned, we're going to be using our box as our little workstation. So we're placing the unicorn bottle in the box. And this, you're going to just unscrew the top, unscrew the cap, and just put it to the side. Now you're going to place the funnel inside the top of the unicorn bottle. And we're going to choose, actually, I have to open up the sandbags. So the sandbags have the little zip, or not zip, but it's a resealable bag. So you can put your sand back in if you're not using it. If I can open it. There you go. So here's our yellow. Here's our purple. Oop. I accidentally put that one. Here's our pink. And the white is actually the sparkly sand. So there's like little bits of glitter in the white. And I'll hold that up so you guys can see. And like I mentioned in the instructions, you can put a thin layer of the white sparkly sand between all of your colored layers, just to give some really shiny, sparkly fun in your sand art. Oops. See if it'll pick up the sparkle. It might be able to pick it up a little bit better once we put it in our jar. Okay. So let's start with a color. Would anyone like to type in what color you want to start with? Do you want to start with yellow, purple, or pink? What do you guys think? Should we have, and where it will go will be the base. So it's just like the packaging, our sand art will be layered in different colors. So the first color that was added to this one was pink. So we're looking for what color do we want to start with for our unicorn? What do you think, Georgiana?
I think, oh,
What do you
Tina says pink.
think? Thank you, Tina. All right, Tina. Here we go. So we'll just hold the funnel steady and pour our pink in there. Just like that. And I'm kind of moving it around so it levels out. And I think I want to add a little bit more pink. So the whole thing when you're adding the sand is to add just enough sand so the funnel does not overflow. All right, that's a good amount. See if I can kind of show you. Yeah, okay. All right, let's do a layer of our sparkle next. And we're only doing a thin layer because this sparkle can go in between all the other colors. So like that. Oh, that's really cool. Let's see, here we go. Let's see if we can see the side view. Oh yeah, cool. Ooh, awesome. Ooh, I think maybe I'm going to do it this way so you guys can see from the side view as we add our sand. Let's do this. It's a little tall, but
You probably just put them straight on the counter.
oh yeah, that's way better. Okay. Thank you, Georgiana. Okay, purple next. Yeah. So why we include this box as a workstation is just in case you do spill your sand, it gets caught in the box. But if you're not using the box, we do recommend putting down a paper towel or some kind of paper or something on your desk so it catches the sand. So I'm not doing that, but so far so good. And another layer of sparkle. So in person, you can see the sparkle a lot more than on the camera. So why I'm shaking it back and forth like that is to kind of level out the sand. So it isn't just one big clump in the center. All right, yellow, time for yellow.
Do you think if you left it as a clump that it would like cause a rainbow?
We can
Bump?
try it. Let's see if we make a rainbow bump. Rainbow bump, rainbow bump. All right.
I don't know if that's the technical term for it, but
It's the
arch.
rainbow hill. Ooh, I like the way you think. All right, so here's our yellow. I'm making more of a hill than I thought, but okay, so there's our yellow. We're gonna do pink next. Ooh. I'm watching on the camera. That looks so cool. And then purple. Mm-hmm. All right, rainbow bump is cool.
Yes, bump it.
Rainbow bump. All right, but the only thing is it didn't get over here or here, so I do have to shake it just a little bit. There we go. Now we're totally filled on the sides. Good. All right, back to bump. Back to
We're
bump.
bumping.
But we are gonna add a little shimmer first. Oh, there, shimmer. And then we'll bump. More bump. This is so fun. All right, I think we need more pink. Pink is my favorite today.
I couldn't tell you're just wearing a little bit of it.
Right. All right, and yellow. And I read earlier, someone is doing the mermaid one. So it's the same steps for the mermaid, just filling it up in different layers. And if you have, like I said, the other ones, they're all the same type of instructions for right now, where you're just layering the different colors of sand. Uh-oh, we are stuck. Oh, there it goes. Just have to move it around. If you notice the sand not going down the funnel, it's usually because you're getting, like, the bowl is getting more full. So the tip of the funnel might be hitting sand, so you might have to lift it up or just move it back and forth. Time for shimmer. So right now is one of those times I have to move it. And that's fun too. Shake, shake, shake. I love seeing it like this. It's so much cooler to see it from the side than from the top down. Yay, Georgiana with her awesome camera work.
Thank you.
Round and round we go. So I love this sand art because not only do you get to layer the sand, but then you get to decorate your little bottle, which is what's coming up next after we're done filling the sand. A little shaky shake. More yellow, I think, just a bit. And as we said in the instructions, some of your sand might settle over time because of gravity. Um, and you want to hold on to your any extra sand so you can continue to fill it if it does settle. Purple, yellow, and purple are complementary colors, which means they are striking next to each other. Oh my goodness, we are getting to the top. How are we going to get it up in the little ears? Let's see. I don't know. More sparkle.
Well, our ears have stickers, so
Right. Yeah.
that's going to be a hard bend to make.
Yeah, it would be hard to do. So we're probably just going to fill it up to the top of the head. All right, that's the last of my pink, but I still have purple and yellow left. And I still have some room. There's still a little bit of room right up here. So we'll do more purple. And then we'll have yellow left for refilling if we need to. I think, whoa, I got it right at the tippy top.
You measured it, Mary.
Yeah. Oh, but just shaking it made it go down. So I can actually put some more in, and I will. Right. Yeah, I have a little bitty bit of purple left. So I spilled some on the table. And then some more yellow. Because you do want to fill it all the way up to the top of the where you put your cap on. In the case that we're in right here, we are filled to the very top, but there is still sand in the funnel. So what we're going to have to do is lift our funnel and move our finger real quickly underneath the funnel so it doesn't get all over the place. But if you were using your box, it would not be that much of an issue because the sand would be caught in the box, which we are not doing. So it's I just have to move my finger very quickly. Ready, set, go. Boop. Okay, only a minimal amount of spillage, not too bad. So, okay. Now that we're done filling for now, we're going to put the top back on and kind of just wipe away any loose sand that might be sitting on top. So it's easier to just turn on. There you go. All right, so that step is done. Hi, cute little unicorn. Oh my goodness. It reminds me of fruit striped gum, which may or may not still exist in the world, but when I was growing up, it did exist. And it looked similar to this with all these stripes of color. All right, so what we're doing next is looking at the instructions, and it says to decorate the unicorn. Carefully add the foil accents and stickers. So we have unicorn wings. We have our eyes, our little ears, some decorative hearts, some cool foil accents, and of course our horn. So the way that we use, the way that we adhere these on are with these little sticky dots. And there is, it's a pretty simple way to attach the sticky dot to whatever you're attaching to your character, to your unicorn. So for the, we'll just do the wings first. The wings, you just kind of pop out like this. And then there's a little decoration within the wing that you just pop out like that. So you can see, do. And then the other one. And if you are a creative, artsy type person, you might just want to save these cool little foil things to use for some other craft project. All right, so what we're going to do is peel back the protective sheet for our sticky dots. So there's like a piece of plastic over top of the sticky dot. Just peel it back and the sticky dot will be on it. You can see the sticky dot is right there. And we're going to put the sticky dot on this round part of the wing. So you just push the sticky, or you push the wing onto the sticky dot, and now the sticky dot is on the wing. And then we're going to put that on the back of our unicorn. So you can see, ta-da, just like that. All right, and just do the same for the next one. So peel back your protective paper, press your wing onto the sticky dot, peel off the sticky dot, should be on the wing, and then place that onto your unicorn. Yay, sparkle, sparkle. And let's put the eyes on next. These eyes have cool little eyelashes. So just peel off the eye and put it right on your bottle. Here's one. And here's two. Sweet. And we're gonna put the horn on next. And on our bottle, there's this little ridge in order to stick the horn onto. So just like the wings, we're going to use a sticky dot. But this time, oh, there's two of them. We're going to put it on the back, not on the front of the piece of cardboard. There you go. So now the sticky dot is back here. And we'll stick it right there. Yay! All right, we need our stickers for the ears. Let's find those. Ear stickers. Here they are. And these are foil. So one goes here. And one goes here. Hey, look how sparkly she is. And you can add a heart if you'd like, which I, of course, would like to do that. Those hearts are awesome. And I'm going to add a little sparkle to her arm right here. Boop.
Looks like it's over her heart.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, this here, this is kind of like, it has some dimension to it. It's kind of thick. So let's see. There's some stars on here. There is this shape here that's right in here. So it's kind of like representing the cloud. So these shapes will just,
Would this be easier on the side?
oh yeah. Whoop. So this shape here goes right there. Kind of like a puzzle, you're just putting them together where the shape fits. And I made that a little too high. Just do that. There we go. So you can see it shiny. And then the other one goes down here. Yeah, just like a little puzzle. So you're creating this holographic looking cloud behind your unicorn. And then the final one goes right here. And right here, there's a little platform. And the platform, oh, thank you. She is so pretty. I love it. That little platform is for your sweet little starburst friend to sit. So you can use a little sticky dot and stick your little star friend here, or you can leave it loose and play with your little star friend with your sand art unicorn. So it's up to you, but I think I will go ahead and stick her on. So just like we did with the other ones, you just take a little sticky dot, put it on the back of the star, and now stick our little star on there. Yay! So now you have this amazing little sand art unicorn as a friend, as a decoration. We do still have some stars left, so you can decorate even more with the stars. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 4 of these in our line of sand art. So if you enjoyed doing the little unicorn, you might want to try out either the mermaid, our rocket ship, or our dragon. And it is the year of the dragon, so that might be fun. All right, do we have any questions from our friends out there?
Not yet, but your unicorn came out super cute. All right, if you could give your unicorn a name, what would it be?
Her name would be Peggy.
Oh, I love it.
Peggy like a Pegasus, but
I was thinking like taffy, because you said candy, and that's really just stuck in my head.
the fruit stripe gum.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she actually matches my apron. Really perfect. Wow. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, friends, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that. This was a lot of fun and super easy to do with an amazing little result here, our wonderful Peggy the unicorn. And I hope you guys can join me again for our next class together with Michaels. We're so grateful for Michaels for having us, and we're so grateful for you for attending. So have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.